A very good evening to everybody. Today we are going to discuss on the topic MCQs on AS2 valuation of inventory, right? In last class we have already discussed about the AS2 valuation of inventories in details. Today we are going to discuss the MCQs, right? Let's start. Welcome to ICAI Academy. Let's go on begin with the topic. It's the MCQs related to AS2, that is valuation of inventories. What does accounting standard 2 primarily govern? A. Recognition of revenue. B. Inventory valuation. C. Fixed asset depreciation. D. Employee benefit. It is about inventory valuation. Okay? Second, which of the following methods is not permitted for inventory valuation under AS2? कौन से permit नहीं हो रही है? ठीक है? A. FIFO first in first out method. LIFO last in first out method. Weighted average cost. Specific identification. So it is, the answer is LIFO पहले होता था 2003 रिविजन के बाद में इसको यहाँ पे परमिट किया नहीं जा रहा है. So revision of IAS2, so we will see that it is not taken consideration after 2003. AS2 is applicable to which of the following types of entities? Only publicly listed companies, only private limited companies, all entities that prepare financial statements, only governmental organizations. The answer is all entities that prepare financial statements. What is the main objective of AS2? To determine the fair value of inventory, to ensure consistency in inventory valuation, to minimize the tax liabilities for businesses, to calculate the market value of inventory. The answer is to ensure consistency in inventory valuation, consistency from one year to another year so that it can be compared. Which financial statements is directly affected? Take a concept directly affected by the application of AS2. Income statement, balance sheet, cash flow statement, statement of change in equity, that is income statement, right? Which of the following costs should be included in the cost of inventory under AS2? Selling expenses, administrative expenses, storage cost, research and development cost. It is storage cost जो directly include होगा inventory के अंदर. Which is the primary purpose of inventory valuation under AS2? To determine the replacement cost of inventory, to calculate the market value of inventory, to assess the impairment loss of inventory and to ascertain the cost of goods sold and ending inventory. The main purpose क्या है? हमें उसका cost of goods sold निकालना है और closing inventory, that is ending inventory. Which inventory valuation method assumes that the most recently acquired inventory items are sold first? जो पहले last में हम खरीदे हैं उसको पहले बेचेंगे. First in first out method, LIFO, weighted average cost and specific identification. It is LIFO, last in first out. जो last में खरीदा जाएगा उसको पहले बेचा जाएगा. Under AS2, how should inventory be valued if the net realizable value is lower than the cost? Cost से net realizable value is less. All the net realizable value, at the net realizable value, at the lower of cost and market value, at the cost, at the higher of cost and net realizable value. The answer is at the lower of cost and market value, that is LCM. Lower of cost and market value हमें लेना है. Which financial ratio is affected by the choice of inventory valuation method under AS2? Return on investment, ROI, debt to equity ratio, gross profit margin, current ratio. So कौन से हमारे effect होगा? That is gross profit margin is going to change depending on the choice of inventory valuation method. This is gross profit margin. Which of the following is not a method of inventory valuation under AS2? वो कौन से यहाँ पे क्वेश्चन क्या है? Permitted नहीं, हमने पहले पढ़ा था which is not permitted under inventory valuation, that was LIFO हम पढ़े थे, but यहाँ पे बोल रहे कौन सा मेथड ही नहीं है, ठीक है? तो FIFO, LIFO, AVCO, that is average cost or weighted average, and last है EBITDA, that is earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation and amortization. The answer is obviously EBITDA, that is earning before interest, taxes, depreciation and amortization. According to AS2, inventory should be valued at selling price, net realizable value, historical cost, net realizable value, whichever is lower, market price. It is historical cost or net realizable value, whichever is lower. Which of the following is not a component of inventory cost according to AS2? Purchase price, direct labor, manufacturing overhead, sales commission. It is sales commission. In which method of inventory valuation does the assumption match the physical flow of goods? Physical flow of goods मतलब जैसे कि सामान आ रहा है वैसे ही उसको निकाल जा रहे हैं, ठीक है? So it will be FIFO, LIFO, AVCO, specific identification. Simply it is FIFO because first in first out जो पहले आ रहा है वही वैसे निकल रहा है. तो that is physical flow of goods के हिसाब से वो चल रहा है. Which financial statement is directly affected by the valuation of inventories under AS2? इनकम स्टेटमेंट, बैलेंस शीट, कैश फ्लो स्टेटमेंट, स्टेटमेंट ऑफ चेंजेस इन इक्विटी. तो कौन सी डायरेक्टली अफेक्टेड बाय द वैल्यूएशन इन्वेंट्रीज, वैल्यूएशन जो कर रहे हैं इसमें कौन से इफेक्ट हो रहा है? मेनली दैट इज बैलेंस शीट. और कौन सा इफेक्ट फैक्टर, कौन से इफेक्ट फैक्ट विच इज इफेक्टेड बाय द इन्वेंट्रीज, वो होता है इनकम स्टेटमेंट. लेकिन जो कौन से मेथड में हम कर रहे हैं यूज़ कर, दैट इज गोइंग टू अफेक्ट द बैलेंस शीट. Which of the following is not a requirement of AS2 regarding the valuation of inventories? Consistency in valuation method, disclosure of a cost formula used, recognition of inventory at fair value, proper treatment of overhead cost. ऐसे क्वेश्चंस में not a requirement, you have to be very specific. See यहाँ पे not a requirement जो नहीं चाहिए, तो that will be recognition of inventory at fair value. If the cost of inventory exceeds its net result value, AS2 requires that the inventory be written down to replacement cost, lower of cost or market value, selling price, historic cost. It is lower of cost or market value. Under AS2, inventory should be valued at lower price paid for inventory items, highest price paid for inventory items, the most recent price paid for inventory items, and the average price paid for inventory items. कौन से हमें लेने? लोएस्ट लेना है, हाईएस्ट लेना है, मोस्ट रिसेंट लेना है, एवरेज लेना है. We should take the average price paid for the inventory items. Which of the following method is not acceptable under AS2 for inventory valuation? Specific identification, FIFO, LIFO, random selection. ठीक है, जो acceptable है, हमने इसको किया था कि जो अभी हम allow नहीं कर रहे, that will be LIFO, but कौन से acceptable ही नहीं है, that is random selection. ठीक है. According to AS2, the cost of inventory should be include all the following except, मैंने सब रहेगा, एक नहीं रहेगा. Purchase price, freights in, trade discount, selling expenses. It is selling expenses. Which of the following methods is used for the valuation of inventories under AS2 but is prohibited under International Financial Reporting Standards IFRS? FIFO, LIFO, AVCO, specific identification, that is LIFO, we already read it. LIFO is not allowed. So financial IFRS. According to AS2, inventory should be measured at cost or net result value, whichever is higher, lower of cost or net result value, cost or net result value, whichever is lower, market value. It is answer is C, that is cost or net result value, whichever is lower. Which of the following is not considered as part of cost of inventories under AS2? Abnormal waste, administrative overheads, borrowing cost, storage cost. तो यहाँ पे कौन सा है जिसको कंसिडर नहीं करना है कॉस्ट ऑफ इन्वेंट्रीज में? That is borrowing cost. Under AS2, inventory costing method should be applied consistently only within the same accounting period from one accounting period to another across different locations of the same entity based on management's discretion. The answer will be from one accounting period to the another accounting period. Which of the following statements is true regarding the application of AS2 for inventory valuation? ठीक है, कौन सी true है? AS2 allows entities to choose any inventory costing method without restriction. Second, AS2 permits the use of LIFO method in all situations. C, or AS2 requires entities to disclose the accounting policies for inventory valuation. And D, AS2 does not provide any guidance on the valuation of inventories. So इसमें true एक ही है, that is number C, that is AS2 requires entities to disclose the accounting policies adopted for inventory valuation. Which of the following methods is based on the assumption that cost of earliest goods purchased are the first to be recognized in the cost of goods sold? LIFO, FIFO, AVCO, weighted average. बोल रहे कौन सा मेथड वो है जिसमें assume करते हैं जो अर्लीस्ट गुड्स खरीदा गया उसको पहले हमें कॉस्ट ऑफ गुड्स में लेना है. So it will be FIFO, first in first out method. According to AS2, which of the following costs should be included in the cost of conversion for inventories? Selling expenses, administrative expenses, overheads, conversion cost, research and development cost. It is obviously conversion costs. If the net result value of inventories increases after previously written down, पहले जो डाउन प्राइस है उससे ज़्यादा बढ़ जा रहा है, AS2 क्या करेगा? Requires no adjustments to be made, an increase in carrying amount of inventories, a decrease in carrying amount of inventories, disclosure in the footnotes, but no adjustments in inventories. No, we have to give effect to it. We have to show an increase in the carrying amount of the inventories. ठीक है? Which inventory valuation method assumes that inventory is issued at the same cost regardless of when it was acquired? कब खरीदे कोई फैक्टर नहीं, लेकिन सेम प्राइस आता है. FIFO, LIFO, AVCO and specific identification, it is AVCO, average variable cost method. उसमें क्या जब भी ले रहे beginning of the year, end of the year और middle of the year, same price will be there. Under AS2, if there is evidence that the net realizable value of the inventories is lower than their cost से कम है, the inventory should be written down to replacement cost, historical cost, net realizable value, market value. The answer is net realizable value. Okay, here ends the MCQs for AS2. Hope it is very beneficial for you. Thanks for watching, and if you like my video, please do subscribe to the channel.